All right, guys, back out in the shop. I'm going to be doing the installation today. I hope you guys enjoy these type of videos. Let me know in the comments down below if you do or not. Hopefully it'll help you out a little bit. Like I said, I'm not a pro contractor, obviously. I'm just showing you the process I'm using, and hopefully it can help you out if you ever do something like this. So you might be wondering why I'm doing insulation since it's already technically insulated, but this insulation that was done was about $3,000 extra, and just ended up being really thin 1/4 inch aluminum foil type insulation with a little bit of foam. And from the research I've done, it could be wrong. Anybody that knows better will let me know in the comments, I'm sure. But you need to have an air gap between the insulation and the outer wall. Well, how they did this was they put up the metal frame, put the insulation right up against the metal frame, and then put the siding right up against that. And from what I understand, with radiant heat insulation, which is what this is, it has to have an air gap behind it in order to work correctly, because if it's butted up right to it, then the heat just transfers through the layers, even the 2x4s and the metal studs. If you fill these when the sun is on it, it's super hot. So I'm going to try to remedy that with this R-Tech insulation, which has a reflective barrier on one side and then just the regular foam on the other. This is 1.5 inches. My thinking is, since these studs are 2.5 inches thick, what I can do is take that with the foil side pointing towards this foil side and kind of line up the inside with this, and I'll have technically like a 1/2 inch or so gap for the air gap, so it won't transfer through. At least that's my thinking and hope. So that's what I'll be doing, and that will also leave me room to notch out these for electrical to get ran behind the plywood and sheetrock and all that stuff. So we're going to get to doing this. I got to cut these down, obviously, to fit each section. And what else is really fun is when they put this together, none of these sections are exact. So I can't batch this out, unfortunately. I have to go through and measure out each section and then cut a piece to fit in that specific section, just like I did the framing, and that's why that took so long. But it's all right. It's not going to be too bad. I can cut these with a razor knife, and it's not going to be bad at all. Oh, also, if you guys are ever going to a big box store to find stuff like this, look for stuff that's damaged, because I got a great deal on these because of it. Make sure you ask for discounts, because they will give them to you, because a lot of people don't want to get damaged things like this, especially contractors that are selling them to clients. But it doesn't matter to me. I'm probably going to cut that off anyway. So it's a good tip. Let's get to work. All right, I had to go buy a longer razor knife because I didn't have one of these extendable ones. But this seems to work okay. I would do it on a table saw, but I don't have a table saw that's portable, and I don't want to take these 30 yards to my shop and back all day long. So this is what I'm doing, but let me show you how I'm keeping it off of the wall. By keeping it off the wall, I mean off of this insulation. So my plan was, when I was looking at these, was to just tape it to here, put it flush, and then tape it. Well, that doesn't work too well when there's a stud on both sides. So I've done this first one here. So what I'm doing is measuring from the back side of this 2x4 out, putting a mark at about 1 inch, and then I'm using these roofing nails because I have a bunch of them for some reason. They were given to me or something, and I'm putting probably like 3. I may change it as I go, but right now I'm doing 3 up the side and driving them in on that mark, but leaving about this much hanging out. So that way I can put these in and kind of push them up against those nails, and I just cut it to where it'll kind of stay. And then that way they'll stay off of the back portion. And I may do something to maybe drive some more nails in to kind of keep it where it needs to be. But I think this is how I'm going to do it. I may change it along the way, and if I do, I will show you guys, but this is what I'm doing right now. So as I said, what I'm doing right here is just going about in the middle or so, measuring out about 1 inch. I don't think it needs to be perfect. And then it's using this super cool boss hammer I got, they sent me. I will leave a link below for this and all their other products if you guys want to check them out. Awesome company, made in the USA. And They're really good hammers. They're also not for what I'm doing. Neither is that. This is not a framing nail, but you know, it works. So just put it on the mark. I just drive it in. Clearly I'm not a framer. To where it's sticking out a little bit, and then I'll do that up and down the 2x4 so the insulation has something to sit against. All right, back out in the shop, guys. I am finished with all the insulation, luckily, and starting to do the sheathing. I'm gonna do drywall and plywood. So it'll be drywall halfway up, then plywood. Stay tuned for that on the next video, but I'll flip you around and show you the finished product. All right, as you can see, like I said, all the insulation is done and the outlets are in. Nothing's hooked up yet, but I had to get them in and wired up before doing drywall, obviously. So that part of the project's pretty much wrapped up. I did tape right here where it met up with the metal studs. That way it could be flush, and I can already tell a huge difference because the metal stud's super hot because the heat's radiating through that, but these are cool to the touch. And I could really tell when I was putting it up, walking by the ones I had done and had not done, I could feel it from, you know, this far away, which is about 2-3 feet away. So definitely helping. Clearly nothing up there yet, but that'll get done at a later date. So yeah, now it's time to move on to the drywall. I say drywall, I meant drywall and sheetrock. It will be drywall the rest of the way up and maybe on the ceiling at some point, but for now, we're just going that 8 feet just to get moved into the shop. Hope you guys like these videos. Let me know in the comments down below if you like watching the shop being built out or not. I figured I'd do a little series on it as I'm doing it because I don't have time to do project videos. Those will be back when I get the shop all set up, and I'm gonna be doing a ton of shop projects and stuff like that. So see you guys on the next video. Have a good one.